So do you have certain TV shows or music that you listen to all the time? They're like your go-to and they make you feel better. Well, did you know that the TV you watch, the type of shows you watch or movies you go to, or the type of music you listen to can be a great resource for you to recover from the pain and trauma in your life? And here's why. Remember, I've talked about this a lot. Our brain doesn't know right from wrong. It knows known versus unknown. And since all of us have been through difficult times, the pain that we go through gets known. And so our brain and body actually seeks to repeat it until we do the repair work. We get caught in what's called a procedural trauma memory. All right, so it's a procedure, something, a process we continually follow in. All right, and so our brain and body becomes addicted to it. Basically, we have a chemical reaction. So when you're having those Netflix binges, that's in a lot of ways, that's what's happening. And so what many people don't realize is that the TV and music that they love the most, they actually gravitate towards it because of the pain and trauma in their life. They're actually reliving the traumatic experience they went through in childhood or any other trauma experiences against themselves. They're recreating that feeling. Like I talk about in my book, there was a woman who came to see me because she wanted more confidence speaking and she had tons of fear. Well, the whole reason it came down to fear was the way her mother treated her. And this is what's fascinating. When she'd get stressed out, you know what kind of shows she'd go watch? Things about the Holocaust. She was fascinated. And the shows she watched were gruesome. Well, that was a direct correlation to the way her mother treated her, how she felt inside. Okay? I know this, people that love crime dramas, like here in America, the whole CSI, all that kind of stuff, that tells me how traumatizing your childhood was. Or horror movies, same thing. I just got off the phone with a friend of mine. We had this discussion. That's why I did this video. He had been listening to Marilyn Manson. And he realized, because he's been reading my book and going through this journey of discovery, and he realized listening to that heavy thrash metal, he did that because it would give him a sense of power because he was so powerless as a child. And it reminded him of his stepfather. And so while he was working out, he listened to this heavy metal thrash stuff to give him energy. What he didn't realize until after reading my book was that he was actually trying to fight his father. And that's why he was so attracted to that kind of music. I know for myself, I suffered a ton of abandonment in my childhood. And so there's always this sense of not having enough love. So I always call them chick tunes. You play love songs and women are like, oh my God, he's so sweet. Well, I have to admit, when I was a kid, high school and all that, I'd play, because, it worked well with women, especially when you're younger, you play love songs and we're like, oh my God, he's so sweet and sensitive. But I used to stay in my room and because I felt so sad and lonely, I'd listen to that music over and over. It was a representation of how heartbroken and lonely I was. Lots of men and women will do this. They'll watch Hallmark movies because of the same thing. I mean, if you look at the videos I've done with clients, they talk about that. They'll gravitate towards movies, and it's all to fill that void of what we went through. Another thing, TV shows. There's a show called American Greed, and I loved it. Used to watch it all the time because I was fascinated. I mean, those people that rip people off like that, they're, all narcissists, and almost all of them are sociopaths, narcissistic sociopaths. Well, those were the two women I married. And the confusion in my childhood, my mom was pretty heavily narcissistic. And so because I remember the feeling while I'd watch it is, this doesn't make sense. Why would they do that? Well, that's the whole feeling I felt in childhood. Why would they do that? Now, my parents did the best they could, but they were perfectly imperfect. So my point to you is this: pay attention to the TV and the music, that you watch and listen to. Pay attention to the feeling and then think back to childhood. You're going to see a direct connection. There's feelings that you're trying to either avoid, medicate away, or fill a void. But it all correlates. We're all drawn to these things for trauma reasons. That's why we're doing it, okay? It doesn't always make it bad. Like for me, once I discovered all this, I stayed away from all of that. Now I can't go back and watch American Greed anymore. I stay away from it because it's too traumatic. But, love those chick tunes. I can listen to it now for the artistry of it, but not get sucked into the depression and the sense of abandonment and emptiness that I had as a child. Okay. And you may find the same thing, but just like me, there may be certain TV shows or music that you get rid of. Just like he said, he's like, I deleted all of that heavy metal thrash stuff because all of that stuff is pure anger. Listen to it. I'm not saying it's bad and that it's terrible for you. You're trying to medicate. Like it's great for you. All I'm suggesting is that you get into reality as to why you like it so that you can use it as a tool to heal. All right. None of this stuff is bad. We're making all these choices, literally screaming at ourselves, the pain we still have left in us that needs to be addressed. So I'm not condemning any of it. I'm just suggesting, go look at it. Let it teach you about you so you can heal and be the greatest version of yourself. Okay? So let me know. What do you discover as you think about this? There are going to be a lot of people like, oh my God, now I see why I watch this and listen to this. Leave me comments. Let me know what you discover about yourself. Okay? I hope you're having a great day. Bye-bye.